Hey there and welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida, and in today's video we are making tender short ribs. So yummy, so delicious. First, have you subscribed? If not, make sure you click that subscribe button and let's get into these slow cooked delicious ribs. All right, let's get started. Okay, right here you see I have 2 pounds of short ribs. I did pick these up at my local farmer's market. They were just so pretty I had to buy them. But when you're buying short ribs, you are biting a bullet on price. Definitely they are something that you kind of just treat yourself to every once in a while because they're a little pricey. But the first thing I want to do is to season them and season them well on both sides. That's a little salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, all-purpose seasoning. Just want to make sure that they're seasoned well because that's your flavor. And we always want to flavor from the bottom up. And then I'm going to put these in a pan and then sear in the flavor and lock them in. So seasoning both sides. And then I'm going to coat them with a little bit of flour, because as they cook in the oven, this is just going to help to thicken up the sauce. And I'm only putting the flour on one side. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I do both sides, but just one side for these short ribs. So lightly coat it, and then I'm just going to rub the flour in. So first step is we season both sides of the short ribs. Added some flour to the top, to one side of short ribs, and just pat that in. Nice and easy. Preheated my oven. My oven is preheated to 325. Next up, I want to get out my Dutch oven. Love my Dutch ovens. As you see, I use them all the time. I have probably about a 1/4 cup of oil in the pan, and that's on a medium to low heat. Then I'm going to add in the short ribs, as you see right here, and they all fit right in. And this is 2 pounds, so that's just the right amount. If I did have more, I would just do them in batches. So this would be like the first batch. And if I had 4 more, I would just do another batch. But definitely I want to sear. And that's just to lightly fry them on all sides. And when you sear your meat, it locks in the flavor. So it's just going to help to lock in that seasoning that I put on the outside of the short ribs. Each side needs probably about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to remove them. So you can take a look at the searing process. This is an important step when you're cooking meat low and slow, certain meats in the oven. When I make oxtails, I like to sear in the flavors. Yeah, just different things. And when you think of short ribs, you're thinking of a very, very tender steak. Very tender cut of beef. Somewhat like chuck roast. Chuck roast is a little bit more affordable, but short rib is just a higher end, but very tender. You're definitely getting a tender cut of beef when you make short ribs. And see right here, I'm just removing those, so that just took a couple of minutes. And then we're going to move on to the next step. If you notice, I had some carrots and onions and garlics chopped up on that plate at the beginning. So we're going to get to putting everything in the pot. So I still have some oil left over, and I'm adding back in the carrots, the onions that I just diced up, just a rough dice. Kind of big because it's going to cook for like 3 hours. So all of this is just, it's going to just tenderize in the pot and just help flavor the short rib. So I have some carrots, I have some onions, and then I'm going to add in probably about 3 to 4 cloves of chopped garlic. And I'm just sauteing these for probably about 5 minutes. Not long at all. And once again, this just adds all the flavor into that nice, tender short ribs. The sauce that's going to be made with the short ribs. You got a flavor from the bottom up, all your aromatics, Oh, it tastes so good. So delicious. All right, these are about done. And now let's move on to that next step. We're going to start adding in some more flavor. Okay, let's add in some tomato paste, just about a tablespoon. That just gives it a little more in-depth flavor. And so we just want to add that in, and I'm just going to stir it and mix it in with the vegetables for a couple of seconds, not too long. Then I'll let you watch as I add in some more seasonings. I'm using garlic powder, salt, pepper, let's see, a little bit of Italian seasoning. Just want a nice variety of seasonings to complement the short ribs. Now that all those good, wonderful seasonings are in the pot, I'm going to add in my liquids. Just putting in about a tablespoon or two of Worcestershire sauce, or I just call it the W sauce. Worcestershire. There you go, Worcestershire sauce. Then I'm adding in a cup of red wine. You don't have to use red wine. You can just add an extra cup of beef broth if you prefer. But I am using red wine. It just gives it a more intense flavor to the short ribs and the sauce. It just tastes really good. So just using 1 cup of red wine, easy to find in the stores. And you just need a very basic red wine. Right there I have 2 cups. 2 cups of beef broth. I'm adding in my fresh herbs. I'm adding in some rosemary and thyme. I would say about 5 sprigs of thyme, maybe 1 or 2 sprigs of the rosemary. And once again, that's aromatics. That's building into the flavor, and it's just going to make this pot of short ribs so delicious. They're going to, first of all, be tender, but they're going to be so delicious and flavorful. So now that everything is in the pot, we're going to add back in the short ribs. Once I add them back in, I'm just going to cover the Dutch oven up and prepare to go into the oven. I am cooking these 3 hours, at least 3 hours, maybe 3.5. But we'll check them halfway through just to see how they're coming along. But you definitely want at least 3 hours, but 3.5 will not hurt. And it just has to break down. Nice slow cook always breaks down your meat and makes it that much tender. What we call low and slow. All right, everything's back in the pot right there. I just let it cook for about 5 minutes. Bring up the temperature, give it a light boil, and then I'm going to add the top and place it in the oven. So everything fits in the pot perfectly. All right, top on, oven ready. For the sake of this quick video, it has went in the oven and I'm pulling it out at the end of 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And look at those short ribs, y'all. Delish, tender, melt in your mouth. The short ribs are complete. You see everything has cooked well. You see that nice sauce that we have with the short ribs. You can put that over some potatoes, put it over some rice, pair it with a vegetable. But right here we have slow cooked short, tender short ribs. You have some bits of carrots and onions for garnishment, or if you just want to eat those. but the flavor is in this pot. I'm going to remove the thyme and the rosemary stems. Just remove that out the pot and get this ready to plate and serve. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you do try it. Tender, slow cooked short ribs are the way to go. Definitely for a good old Sunday dinner. All right, your friends and family, I love you for it. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until the next time, have a blessed day, a blessed week, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.